If this is your first year at Mid-Prairie High School, this tutorial is designed to help you get started using your school-issued iPad as a powerful learning tool. If you're a returning student, it will serve as a good reminder of how things work to minimize problems and maximize your success in using your iPad for learning. This tutorial will include several things, but we will start with the top 7 things to remember. First, always keep your iPad in its case, no exceptions. The case does a good job of protecting your device, but only when it's on there. Obviously, you also need to be careful with your iPad because the case doesn't protect it from everything. Do everything you can to keep from dropping it or setting things on it or crushing it in your backpack. Keep all liquids and foods away from it. Also, you should not decorate, personalize, or deface the iPad or the case in any way. No pictures inside the case. Your name and graduation year and the asset tag number must be visible on the back of the iPad at all times. Keep your iPad out of reach of your siblings and pets. We have had both dog and cat damage to devices and cases. And finally, use extreme caution if you need to leave your iPad in your car for even a short period of time. If you would not be comfortable sitting in the car with the windows closed and the engine not running for that period of time because you would be too cold or too hot, your iPad won't be happy there either. We've had batteries explode and screens shatter from excessive heat and excessive cold that happened in relatively short periods of time. The second thing to remember would be to restart your device first if something isn't working. It's easy to get in a little panic when something isn't working right and thinking you need to take it to someone for help. But a restart solves more than 95% of the problems a typical iPad might have. If it won't turn off or it won't turn on, try holding both the power button and the home button down for about 30 seconds or until the Apple logo appears in the middle of the screen. This is called a hard restart, and if that doesn't work, then it's time to bring it in for service. The third thing to remember is that to the extent that you can, keep your iPad functioning on the upper half of its battery bank. Start with a full charge each morning. When it gets down below about 12%, it goes into energy saving mode and will struggle to download apps, perform more complex operations, and when it gets lower than 10%, it may even struggle to connect to the internet. The best practice is to charge your iPad every night. Do use caution in bringing your charging cables to school. These can disappear when others use them and neglect to return them. You may use washi tape or masking tape to personalize your charging block and cable, but it is best to charge at home and have your charger at home if you possibly can. Do clean your screen every day with a dry microfiber cloth. Avoid screen cleaners and never use water to clean your screen. Only touch your iPad with clean hands and allow any hand sanitizer to dry completely before touching your iPad. The fifth thing to remember is that you are the master of your own iPad. This is your iPad to use, and it should only be operated, handled, and transported by you. Never let another student or a sibling be in possession of your iPad. You are responsible for all content on the device, no matter how it got there. Stay away from inappropriate content online. Everything you do on a school-issued iPad is viewable by the IT team. And while we're on the subject, everything you do on any device while you're using your school Google account or email is searchable and viewable by the IT team. This device is for school use only. Take your iPad home each night and do not leave the device in an unsecured school or locker room locker. Number 6 is to never, ever plug your school iPad into another device, like a computer, or let someone other than a school employee troubleshoot your device. Your techie cousin or uncle may do more harm than good. Our iPads are managed by a system that does not respond well to outside tampering. And finally, if your device is broken or isn't working after you restarted it, bring it to Mr. Brogue or the high school office right away. And you should not continue using the device with a broken screen. Glass slivers in your fingers are painful. Also, if your device needs to be sent in for service, you can check out a loaner in the high school office. However careful we are, occasionally an iPad will break or stop working properly. All school iPads are covered under the AppleCare program, so for a $50 fee, iPads with accidental screen breaks or other accidental damage can be sent in for repair or replacement. If an iPad stops working due to a hardware issue, like it quits charging or quits connecting to the internet, as long as there's no other damage to the device, there is no charge to send it in for repair. Repairs and replacements are usually back in your hands within a week or less. Intentional damage or lost devices are dealt with differently. You must pay for the full replacement cost, which is the value of the iPad at the time of the damage or loss. Also, if a student attempts to crack the security on school devices, the iPad warranty and AppleCare will not cover damage, and students must pay the full replacement cost. You are issued a brand new charging cable and block when you first receive your device as a freshman or as a new student. All replacement cables and blocks are your responsibility, so take excellent care of them. With good care, nearly all students are able to use the same charging cable and block all 4 years of high school. If yours becomes broken, misplaced, or lost, you can purchase replacements in the office for $15 a cable and $15 a block. Do not use knockoff brands of charging cables to charge your iPad. Apple likes Apple, and battery damage results from routinely charging with off-brand cables. In order to receive your iPad, you digitally signed the Mid-Prairie Acceptable Use Policy, and this means that you have agreed to use your school-issued iPad in ethical ways both at school and away from school. You have agreed not to bully or threaten others or publish personal information about yourself or others in public spaces. The device is intended for school-related educational use only, and the school may remove non-related files. You are expected to return the iPad to the school when requested, and it is expected that you will not access, review, upload, download, store, post, receive, transmit, or distribute inappropriate content with the school device. Depending on what is done, law enforcement may be involved in investigating certain incidents in this category. Just don't go there. It is a very big deal, and the consequences can be life-altering. If you have questions regarding your iPad or its use, please contact Mr. Brogue at the high school or Mrs. Bontrager at Central Office.